do a recall to order of a regular meeting. Jackie, can we please start with a roll call?
Amanda Harness.
Here.
Steve Byers.
Here.
Ariel Owens. Christopher Boyce.
Here.
Daisy Ramirez.
Present.
Vanta Bynum.
Here.
Jenna Zimmerman.
Thank you. Now, next item is public comment. Public participation and recognition. Public comment. Members of, I apologize, I don't have my microphone. Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you. All right, so public comment. Members of the public who wish to speak to the board should complete a request card prior to the start of the meeting. This section of the meeting will be reserved for comments from the public. All comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Criticism of individuals is not in order. Jackie, do we have any cards?
None.
Thank you. Next item is board correspondence. Do we have any board correspondence?
I got to go to the Bar Boosters golf outing on Friday last week. It was absolutely phenomenal day, great event. I think we raised a good amount of money for the Booster Club. So, you know, if you guys are looking to golf next year, there's always still foursomes open. We look forward to being out there with you. You don't have to be good at golfing. I'm not. I quit golfing the last 3 holes because I just gave up, so it's okay.
Well, thank you for participating in that. Any other updates? No? Awesome. Okay, thank you. Student board correspondence. Do you have anything?
Jenna is at band camp, but actually, I just thought of two. Her and I both talked to someone from WNIJ to do a story about her being a student board member, so that was nice. And those are all the updates I have.
Yay. Thank you. And for the work that you do with her, we really appreciate it, with the mini board. All right, the next item is consent agenda. Approve consent agenda items. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda items 5B through 5I. Board minutes for 6/4/24, 6/10/24, and 6/12/24. Personal action items, payroll for May, purchase order requisitions, financial reports, accounts payable for June, employment, contract, student services coordinator, and Mitchell Elementary School construction bill list as attached. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Steve Byers.
Abstain.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Daisy Ramirez.
Yes,
Vanta Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
thank you. All right, next item, it is the appointment of a new board member. In the last, past week, we received 9 applications. Out of the 9,
You need to do old business first.
Old business first.
OMG, I apologize. I'm so excited to swear you in already that I'm like, I totally skipped the whole section. I apologize, I sincerely apologize. Everyone, old business. Old business, it is item 8, Press Plus 114, first reading. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the Press Plus 114 policies as attached. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce. Daisy Ramirez.
Yes.
Vanta Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Thank you. Item B, contract agreement, CEC professional development. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the agreement with the CEC as attached. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Daisy Ramirez.
Yes.
Vanta Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Thank you. Item C, DHS volleyball team summer plans. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the above mentioned volleyball camps to both the Dunes, July 17th through the 18th, and Musiana, is that how you say it? July 24th through the 26th in Indiana. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Daisy Ramirez.
Yes.
Vanta Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Thank you. Item D, differential committee meeting minutes. Let me see, this is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the recommendations from the differential committee meeting held on April 25th, 2024, totaling 104,991,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Daisy Ramirez.
Yes.
Vanta Bynum.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Now is the appointment. I'm telling you, I just got so excited. All right, so as you all know, our former board member, Mr. Andre Powell, took on a new opportunity in the city council, and as such, a board position became vacant. In the last, we published it, and we received a lot of applications. We actually received 9 out of the 9 applicants. 7 of them actually came and interviewed, and out of the 7 interviews, or the 7 people that interviewed, we actually made our selection, and today he's actually here, Mr. Davis. We would like for you to please come forward and join us as we do your oath, so that we can administer the oath. So with that, not quite yet, let me read it out. All right. So I'm gonna read this statement. Oh, that's the student board member, and then you're right next to Ari Owens.
Oh, my glasses are getting
Glasses. Oh, I apologize, okay. All right, so do you want to come, we're doing, I'll come by you. All right, so we're gonna do the oath, you raise your hand.
No, do it over here, it's better photo.
Where, over there?
You gotta hold the mic. You want us to?
You wanna do it in front of the microphone?
Yeah, she needs a mic.
Oh.
Down by the
microphone. So where do you all want me? Just tell me where you need me at, right here, by the front?
Just hold the mic.
Okay.
Let's use the technology. Read in front of the logo.
In front of the logo, okay.
Rita wants a picture. If you don't mind stepping down, Mr. Davis.
Always, Mr. Davis, I apologize.
That's fine.
Our communications managers like to take a nice picture of you.
All right, so you can please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and say your name,
I, Fred Davis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of a member of the Board of Education,
of Community Unit School District 428,
Community Unit School District 428,
in accordance with the Constitution
in accordance with the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the laws of the State of Illinois,
and the laws of the State of Illinois,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I further swear
I further swear
that I shall respect taxpayer interest
that I shall respect taxpayer interests
by serving as a faithful protector
by serving as a faithful protector
of the school district's assets.
of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect
I shall encourage and respect
the free expression of opinion
free expression of opinion
by my fellow board members
by my fellow board members,
and others who seek a hearing before the board,
by others who seek the hearing in front of the board,
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority
as an individual,
as an individual,
and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote
and decisions can only be made by a majority of vote
at a public board meeting.
in a public board meeting.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board
I shall abide by the majority decisions of the board
while retaining the right to seek changes
while retaining the right to seek changes
in such decisions
in such decisions
through ethical and constructive channels.
through ethical and constructive channels.
As part of the Board of Education,
As part of the Board of Education,
I shall accept the responsibility for my role
I shall accept the responsibility of my role
in the equitable and quality education
in equitable and quality of education
of every student in the school district.
of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with the board
I shall foster with the board
extensive participation of the community,
extensive participation in the community,
formulate goals, formulate goals,
community goals,
define outcomes,
define outcomes,
and set the course for Community Unit School District 428.
to set the course for Community Unit School District 428.
I shall assist in establishing
I shall assist in establishing
a structure
a structure
and an environment designed to ensure
and environment designed to ensure
all students have the opportunity to attain
all students have the opportunity to obtain
their maximum potential
their maximum potential
through a sound organizational framework.
through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment
of student achievement
of student achievement
in all conditions
of all conditions
affecting the education of our children
affecting the education of our children
in compliance with state law.
in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate
I shall serve as education's
key advocate
key advocate
on behalf of students
on behalf of students
in our community school
in our community school
to advance the vision
to advance the vision
of for Community Unit School District 428.
of 4 Community Unit School District 428.
And I shall strive to work together
I shall strive to work together
with the district superintendent
with the district superintendent
to lead the school district
to lead the school district,
toward fulfilling the vision
filling the vision
the board has created,
the board has created,
fostering excellence for every student
fostering the excellence of every student
in the areas of academic skills,
in the areas of academic skills,
knowledge,
knowledge,
citizenship,
citizenship,
and personal development.
personal development.
All right. And with that said, we officially welcome you. Welcome.
you.
Thank you. Welcome.
My wedding didn't even last that long.
Just need to make it official, right? And seal the deal.
I was committed to a lot there, so.
Definitely a big commitment. But we are excited, and again, we once again thank Mr. Powell for the service, the time that he served on the board with us, and we wish him well as he moves on to new opportunities. And once again, welcome. All right, the next item is future elementary school updates.
Good evening. I'm happy to report some updates from our construction management team. We meet every Tuesday, and I went through a few things today while I was there. I thought I'd share some pictures rather than just hearing from me. If you haven't been out there, this is a picture of the exit from the parking lot that will be the new extension to Garden Road. And that is a one-way going out, so it's actually starting to take form there, as well as the student drop-off pickup area, which also will serve as our visitor parking lot. That is all ready to be paved. And the kitchen cafeteria, this is the exciting part to me. This is where we're starting to see the new additions starting to go up. In addition to that, the excavation and concrete's also done on all of the additions. So there's actually 5 sections when we're counting a construction project of this nature. And in this, they are actually already have that work done. So we're starting to take some form in all of those areas, which is exciting. And the inside, those are kindergarten classrooms. So we can start to see some shape to those. You can't see it in this picture, but I did see some drywall going up. It's very limited, and it won't be going a lot right now. It's just more above the top where they need to get that done before some other pieces. But some drywall going up again is another big step in the process. And then this is the west quarter. This runs north-south, but it's the far west one closest to Normal Road. So one of our main hallways that'll run down the building. So just wanted to share that. Also, just quickly, the precast is done. We're ahead of schedule with precast. The steel is on schedule, and they actually feel like the schedule that we have for steel, it won't take as long as anticipated. So I'm gonna conservatively say that we are ahead of schedule right now, and we are slated that possibly we'll get in maybe a little bit earlier than we even anticipated. There's a lot of work to do, but I'm cautiously optimistic on that at this point, at least, we are not behind schedule. So excited for that, and more information will come.
Excellent. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. All right, any questions? No? All right, thank you. Thank you again, Tammy. And thank you for sharing those pictures. All right, new business. Item A, naming of the 18 to 22 transition team program site to the Beyond One Bar Transition Center. This is an information action item, and Kyle is here to tell us a little bit more about why there is an urgency for that.
Good evening. Really excited to kind of be here kind of at the next step in a process that's been ongoing now for several months, which is the relocation of our 18 to 22 transition program from DeKalb High School to what was formerly zoned as a residential, in a residential neighborhood over on Charter Street. almost immediately after the board kind of gave kind of their approval to move forward in the process, the design team really got together and started to talk about what we need to start getting in place to move forward with this project. And one of the things that came forward was the opportunity to put a new name on the program. And, you know, the ownership of that came really from the students and the staff, and of course, everybody who kind of supports that program as an itinerant or a paraprofessional, and they kind of took it. So I want to talk a little bit about the process that we went through to give the recommended name that I'll share with the board. It's actually in your title of the agenda item, so spoiler. Jessica Marcellus Montalban is the teacher of the program right now, and you know, I facilitated this process, but it was really Jessica working with the students and staff to make sure that what they wanted to see in a name was represented. She's not here tonight, but I wanted to give a big shout out to her. Really what Jessica facilitated a lot of conversation within the classroom, and what they ended up doing was a process where they kind of started with some words that had meaning to them. And so they collected a lot of different words, and then from there they kind of worked on, okay, can we piece these together to make a name that we're proud of, but also represents the rationale as to why. And so some of the names, or words I guess, that were thrown out there to start were the words connections, pathways, bridges, one barb, and center. So using some of these words, the staff and students ultimately came up with two potential names: Beyond One Barb Center and the Beyond One Barb Transition Center. So the reason for and then it went to a vote. So the students in that program, currently there are 9, so it was a 7-2 vote in favor of the Beyond One Barb Transition Center. The rationale I think is really cool, and I know it's in your document, but I'm gonna read it. So the students in the 1822 transition program strongly identify as barbs. Being a barb allows students to be a part of the community. Our students value being a barb and love showing their pride through wearing and supporting the barb gear. The majority of our students grow up being barbs and continue to facilitate pride in their community and connection to the school district. Having one barb motto as a part of the new transition connection, the new transition center name was clearly important to current students in the program. The program's goal is to facilitate students' transition to their adult lives. So the word beyond helped to recognize the ultimate goal of what the transition program does. In addition, students found that they continued to like the word transition as it's familiar to them and what the program is, does, and means. As staff, we found that the word center best describes a learning facility, as we aim to be more than just a school or a program, as we meet the individual needs of the students in the program, provide support and resources to meet their post-secondary goals, and facilitate a more seamless transition to their adult lives. So when they sent that to me as kind of the rationale, I was like, all right, obviously we're arguing with that. That's pretty solid, and a lot of thought and energy went into it. The reason for coming forward tonight and asking for information and action is the Illinois State Board of Education requires that school districts, if they have a new school, such as our new elementary school, our new entity, that is gonna be a place where students are gonna be provide direct service to, we have to have what's called a region, county, district type schools code, which is basically a way to like say, this is a school that should have kids, downplaying it, but this is a school that should have kids in it and should be getting services and is registered with the state. They have a July 1 deadline in order to ensure that that's in effect sometime during the upcoming year. And since we are slated to kind of make our move to Charter Street in January, it's important that we try and hit the July 1 deadline. For that reason, we're bringing forward information action tonight. And if approved, we'll be able to meet that deadline. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? No? Are we okay with making, due to time sensitivity, this being an information action item?
Yes.
Well, thank you, Kyle, and thank you to the team and to all the students that participated in this. We really appreciate it, and we're excited for this. So with that said, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the naming of the 18 to 22 transition program site to the Beyond One Barb Transition Center. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Roll call?
Daisy Ramirez,
Yes.
Ramsey Bynum,
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Fred Davis,
Yes.
Steve Byers,
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Thank you. All right. Item B, school psychologist contract, MMC Education Staffing LLC. This is an information item brought to us by Mr. Kyle Gertis.
Alright, so this sounds like I was just here, this Groundhog Day, but in between our last board meeting where I brought forward 2 school site contracts from the same agency, they had reached out with another candidate, which was very timely because we actually had a resignation at one of our middle schools in that time period. And so we did go forward with the interview and are excited about the potential that this candidate can bring and help support one of our middle schools. It would be Huntley Middle School. I think what's a little different between this contract and the ones that I brought forward last time is this individual is able to work more hours, so 37 and a half hours a week in person. And so that will give a little bit more flexibility towards direct service versus some of the things that can be done outside of a student working directly in front of you. And the overall, and this would be for the entire 24-25 school year, so the fiscal impact would be $162,000 in total for the contract. And this is an information item for tonight. Are there any questions?
Any questions? And this amount includes benefits as well, right? Everything?
So
Or it's just the
because it's a
contract?
contract
Oh,
and
because
service,
it's a contract, never mind, I apologize,
So
okay.
it's a fee for
So
service.
it's just a fee for the services and including the salary and everything? Okay,
Correct, yep.
all right.
I guess I have one question. If you said that this school psychologist just resigned last week?
No, I'm sorry, we had a resignation from somebody else, so we had an opening come up, and then this individual also came our way. At that time, we also had another position open, so we had 2 openings for a short period of time.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Marigold Pediatric Therapy Agreement, this is an information item, but brought to us by Mr. Kyle Curtis.
So, continue to work to fill our open SLP position, speech and language pathologists. This past year, we had the pleasure of actually working with a speech and language pathologist that works primarily in private practice, but also has the Pell that allows them to work in school. She covered a couple maternity leaves for us and did a really fantastic job. So we have the opportunity to kind of bring her back this year, given that we still do have 2 openings. This contract would be, she would be able to work part-time, which would be 24 hours a week for the duration of the entire school year, 24-25 school year. We would have her support Little John because it actually kind of matches the amount of need that they need for their allocation and what she's available to do. And in total, for a rate of $85 an hour, 24 hours a week, calculated by the number of days, or number of weeks, we would have $73,440 for the length of the service agreement. And this is an information item tonight. Any questions?
Any questions about that? All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, item D, staffing request, instructional assistant, 10 FTE requests. This is an item that is brought forth by Mr. Kyle Gertis and Ms. Deetra Salas.
And so every year, as we kind of get closer to the end of the school year and look ahead to next year, we go through a process with our buildings to look at their assistant allocations. And so what that is we look at the, based on student needs, so let me back up, instructional assistants, because I know it's a broader term the way I used it. We look at instructional assistant allocations and we tie those to the needs that are based on students' IEPs or programs that exist within certain buildings. It's a really actually complicated process, but what we look to do is we look to see, are there buildings that in the 23-24 school year needed, I'm making this number up, 12 assistants, but next year they only need 10. So then what we would look to do is take those 2 extra FTE and then allocate those to a building that might need 2 more or might have a deficit, based on what we're projecting for next year. After we go through that exercise, we look at, okay, do we have a surplus, do we have a deficit, and then do we need to ask for additional FTE? So to be honest with you, this year when we looked at our numbers, we were pretty close to the same allocation from last school year to this school year. We were projecting, based on a couple of students that we know are moving into the district next year or transitioning back to their home school from a more restrictive placement, they're gonna require more individualized supports. Where the increase really goes from, what I would say 2 to 10 would be the 2 special education programs that we're opening for next school year. So that's an additional section of the SOL program, an additional section of the developmental communications program. We have kind of a base formula for what we say we need to staff in those programs, just given on general student need. And that is an allocation of 4 instructional assistants per section. So adding those up, that would bring us to the 10 FTE. These are positions that work directly with students. The cost is in there, so the total hourly cost, and a little bit of an estimate here would be $388,062.70. And with that, I'll open up to questions.
Do we have vacancies in our instructional assistants last school year?
Yep, we do. We've carried vacancies for last several years. We'll say I think we've made some progress in reducing the number of those vacancies, but they do still persist.
And we do have a job fair coming up this week, on Thursday, that will be held at the high school. It is primarily for instructional assistants. However, if other applicants or folks show up interested in other positions, we will definitely have those conversations, but it's primarily to assist in filling our instructional assistant needs.
I guess this is more an our mirror question. Since we have all of these positions that haven't been filled and now we're adding more FTEs, if these positions don't get filled, where does this money go?
If they don't get filled, and that's something we were discussing with Kyle, is because of these vacancies, his department budget will be able to carry over that money that was earmarked this year to pay for the IAs, the instructional assistants for these 2 new programs that he's opening.
So we already have funds allocated for that already based on the vacancies that we weren't able to fill last year.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're carrying that over next year.
And I will add, when we're fortunate enough to get substitutes, it does go towards the cost of the substitutes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item E, it is DFSA letter of agreement for pay adjustment. This is an information item brought to us by Ms. Deetra Salas.
And our mayor.
Oh, and Armin,
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
So, we've been working with DFSA. This has been an ongoing project that we really had hoped to have done in the midst of the 23-24 school year, but at this point are now bringing it to the board. Due to the increase of minimum wage as required by the state of Illinois, starting in 2021, new DFSA members that were hired came in at a higher starting rate than some of our veteran staff. That has caused a lot of confusion. We have lost staff because of it, but we know that it was something that we had to address. So we've worked together. Our mayor came up with a financial plan to support increasing those veteran staff members, and this letter of agreement is to memorialize that. It is a cost of approximately, thank you, $110,000. It wouldn't scroll for me, $110,000, but that is covering the cost of salaries for the 23-24 school year, and we will be retroactively paying our DFSA members that are affected pending approval by the board.
Well, thank you for doing that. We appreciate it, and I apologize that we didn't get to it sooner and that we lost people because of it, so. Any questions about that?
So this obviously is to offset the employees that were here starting in 2020 to 2021 already. I guess my question is, what is this doing to help? Cause I mean, it says veteran employees. I mean, that's 4 years. I mean, I know there's still security guards at the high school that have been there since 5 or 6 years before I even got to the high school.
Security assistants, they're very, very aware of that term.
So I guess my question is, what is this doing to support our employees that have been there forever and ever and ever and aren't seeing maybe some of those same increases when they have employees coming in now, they're right on their tail when they've been there for almost a decade or more?
So this does not address that. This is solely to address the increase due to the minimum wage and then those staff members that fell behind those new employees. We are preparing for negotiations because our contract does expire June 30th of '25. So we are preparing for negotiations and that will absolutely be addressed during that negotiation time.
Okay, thank you.
And we look forward to the board's support on that.
All right. Any other questions? All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the FSS letter of agreement, painter position. This is an information item brought to us by Ms. Tammy Carson.
Back in April, the Board of Education approved us adding a painter position to the team, and that was an additional FTE. Because of that, when that position becomes effective July 1, it is not reflected in the current DFSS contract because it is a new definition of a position. So there are two letters of agreement in front of you. One of them is one you recently approved in regards to our shift premiums for our custodial and our ground staff. And all that did was add that painter position to the list of candidates that can be considered for it. And then the other is just to add it into all the other positions that are listed throughout. So the contract reflects it properly.
Any questions? No.
Thank you.
Consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, item G, policy update 5125, personal technology and social media usage and conduct. This is an information item brought to us by Mr. Benbeo and Ms. Teacher Salas and Ms. Shauna Krentz.
It's a real trio effort. So this is just an update to a pre-existing policy. So the long and the short of it is, after consulting with legal, the main red line changes, which are highlighted in there as an attachment, were to update the policy, make some of the changes to the language just clearer and more concise. And some of the key changes were listing specific device types, requiring approval to use communication platforms with our stakeholders, such as our families and students, that have been approved by the superintendent and the technology department, so that way we can assure that they align with federal and state law. Policy also now aligns with the acceptable use policy, which is the next item. So those are the key changes involved in this. Are there any questions in regards to anything in there? No?
Any questions? No? All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you. And then the next item is policy update 6235, district technology acceptable use policy. This is an information item brought to us by Mr. Benbeo, Ms. Teacher Salas, and Ms. Shauna Krentz.
So very much like the previous policy, after consulting with legal, and you can see the main red line changes. Again, it's an update to the policy, make the language clear, more concise. Key changes in here, we're updating some of the technology terms such as connectivity and platform types, and then also the inclusion of devices such as wearables and walkie-talkies, like district assets, were also included in this, so that way we have the ability to lean on the policy when things go missing.
Okay.
That would never happen.
This policy.
All right, any questions on that? All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all. All right, and then the next item is the superintendent report. We're almost wrapping up, so.
Oh, you stole my line.
you
It's like the one thing I get to say. Okay,
The
so
floor is yours,
I'm up,
Doctor.
thank you. All good things, right? So first and foremost, I want to thank all of the students, the families, and the staff that worked together to get to Beyond One Barb Transition Center. I'm very proud and humbled by the fact that you all worked together and took the ownership to really think about the naming of that building and that service that is being provided to our students. So I really appreciate that. I just wanted to make sure that it was known that I am very grateful that you took the time to do that and that you were considering all kinds of ways to name our place and that it is a space that you will feel like you belong to. So thank you very much for that. I'd like to welcome Mr. Fred Davis as our board member. Looking to do lots of work and getting to know you much better over the course of time. I also want to welcome Matt McIntyre, who is our new security manager, as Roy Garcia transitions out as he resigned earlier in May and is finishing his time out. His last day with us physically is on Thursday. He's taking a vacation day on Friday of next week. And then Mr. McIntyre, Matt, will be joining us as of Monday for transitions with staff to make sure that he gets everything that he needs to be able to get onboarded appropriately, so that, you know, as Roy leaves and Matt starts on his own, that he'll have a really good firm foundation to move on. Roy has said that he would be made available, could be made available to Matt if he needs anything. So a good relationship could be had there to help transition Matt into this space. We wish Roy well. The next thing, and the really important, I want to tell you a little bit of a quick story. I heard that someone has left the district, our neighboring district, to come work here because of the kinds of things that are being done in this district to support children and staff and families. And I think that says a lot about who we are as a district, and I appreciate that the board has allowed us to be that type of a district that people want to come here. So this is now the third or fourth one in the last couple of weeks that I've learned that are leaving other places to come here because of the things that we're doing. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm giving everybody out there a chance. On Thursday, as Deetra mentioned, we do have a job fair happening at the high school from 1 to 4 p.m. And this is your chance to come and take a spot in DeKalb High School. DeKalb School District, CUSD 428, at the high school. So you can see what we're all about and every wonderful thing that we're doing for families and students. So we welcome everyone. We hope to see you there on Thursday. And if you can't make it on Thursday, reach out to Deetra and she'll figure out a way to get you there. So, consider. Of course, we have a number of positions that are open. We welcome anyone to apply to those. Bless you. And so we'd like to see you here. Feel free to reach out. Thank you so much. With that, I am done. Thank you all for joining, and back to you, President, Madam President.
All right, any other questions, comments, or concerns? No? All right, and with that, it is now 7:37, and I would like to, with that, we will adjourn the meeting. It is recommended that the Board of Education will adjourn. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Stay hydrated.